I wasn't even drinking.
I chugged mine. I chugged mine.
That's cold.
Mine
Wish it was colder. It's hot.
Mine was room temperature.
Boys and girls, tackle junkies,
It's toasty.
women, men, and children. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Dude, I don't even know what video I'm making here. That's not my intro. I'm dying. Can't think straight. Tackle junkies. What's going on, everyone? Really appreciate you guys and gals for clicking on the video here with my dude. Fat Stacks.
Oh yeah.
I like Fat Stacks.
Yeah, I like Fat Stacks.
You know, he ain't fat anymore, but he'll always be Fat Stacks to me.
With the Sakushi bugs.
Mr. Scooty.
Oh yeah.
All right, dude. So, we went out to the ponds today. Didn't have a long time to fish. Took a shot out there. Caught a handful.
Yeah.
Didn't really catch anything like huge,
Yeah.
but had a good time, right? Frog fishing. As you can see, lots of mat out there. And you would have thought we would have done, you know, I would have thought we would have done much better on the hollow body frog, or hollow body, what is it? Hollow body frog. Mike was throwing the Berkeley Swamp Lord. And I was throwing the Rage Toad, right? And when we first went out there, I mean, it's pretty dang cloudy.
Yeah.
And we thought it was gonna be a fairly cool day and cloudy, and pretty much just the opposite.
Yeah. Sun came out.
Yeah, sun came out, and a little warm.
Yep.
Should have probably took the crest liner out, but like I said, we gambled with some frog fishing, and it didn't really pan out. Yeah. But I know you guys like the gear in the videos, and I've had quite a few questions on the Rage Toad, so we're going to talk about that, some rigging options, obviously gear used. Big Mike will talk about his gear. We'll cycle some fish clips in here, and we're just gonna have a dang party.
Yeah.
Right? So, guess we'll start with Big Shersky, right?
Yeah. Caught
a handful on the Swamp Lord.
Yeah.
And I would have thought too, I guess what we did kind of think that. On the way out there, we were thinking, oh, cloud cover, might be roaming a bit, maybe won't be as tight or in the mats as they were.
Yeah, they were hitting.
Yeah, they were like close to the bank, right up in the mat.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I went with the Rage Toad, because I was hoping more open water type frogging, and but it was kind of a hit and miss really either way. Yeah. But Swamp Lord.
Oh yeah, black with some purple in there.
I mean, any color works as long as it's black, right?
Yeah. A little bit of moss in there. Show character.
Dude, you ain't got moss on your frog, you ain't frogging, G.
Yep.
Yeah. So Swamp Lord, 50 pound.
Yep.
That is a Seagar Smackdown Stealth Gray.
Oh yeah. And for the rod, it's the Akuma TCS Heavy 7 foot, and I got a Akuma Hakai 7.3 on here.
This is the it's the TCS Jig Worm Rod. It's a heavy power, but what Big Mike forgot to mention, it's a mod fast action. Okay, I really like that softer tip with a heavy power when I'm frog fishing. Okay, so the rod itself, the power of the rod, plenty of power to lean on the fish, get them out of the mat, but that tip is soft enough to let them grab the bait and you're not pulling it away, okay? And this action, this rod really comes into play for me as well, which we'll get into. But 7 footer, not too long, so your tip is not in the water when you're working the frog, but it's long enough to get a good cast. I got plenty of leverage with a 7 footer.
Yeah, and it worked out great getting the fish over the moss and all the big weeds and stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely got to have the heavy. I mean, a frog. Let's see, a frog, Mike. A frog hook is fairly stout. You know, so you got a big hook on there, nice beefy hook, right? So you definitely want a heavy power with some braid to get hooked up and get them out, right?
Yeah.
Years ago, though, my go-to before I was really into braid was 20-pound mono. believe it or not, 20-pound mono, but I had a heavy power. I tell you what, I know the rod. It was a Bass Pro Shops Pro Qualifier, 7-foot heavy, but it was an extra fast, right? And just because mono had all that stretch, I went with an extra fast tip, which is not as soft, right? Just because they had all that stretch in the line. Now that we're using braid, we're kind of doing the opposite.
Yeah.
We're doing a rod with some give, just because the line don't have any give. So kind of the opposite there. But yeah, awesome frog here. Loving the Swamp Lords. But that's Big Mike's setup there. What kind of speed you got?
7.3.
Says 7.3. So a bit faster reel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not too fast. Ray, if you're watching this, Ray, I know you would use like a 12 speed, but we like a bit slower. We're not quite to your level yet, buddy. Hope all's well, man. But we like a bit slower to have a bit more power. But there's some guys out there like Ray that like those super fast reels. Nothing wrong with that. This is just what we prefer. Use whatever you like. And just like with any kind of video we do like this is just kind of like our suggestion of what works for us. Use whatever works for you.
Yeah.
You may like a shorter rod, longer rod, whatever. Yeah. This is kind of what works for us here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike he got a handful.
At 3.
And what I get, 5 or so?
5.
And I mean, I was kind of giving Mike some crap because I think I was up like what, 3 or 4 to nothing.
It was, yeah, 4-0.
And normally Mike whips me out there, and whips me in general, really. And this has kind of been like my year. I'm not sure Mike's got up on me this year.
I mean, I did have biggest today.
He did have biggest. I mean, I really wasn't over there. I didn't really see it, you know. I still ain't seen it.
I showed you a picture. Yes, you
Maybe
did.
it's bigger. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell with the phone. You know, you're so close.
I will say, I did think it was a 3, but it ain't a 3.
But, see, he tells me that now. He told me on the way to get nachos that it was a 3.
I said it was a 5 with the moss. Which it was.
That still works. Either way, nacho was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
And our
great.
Kit Kat is all melted in the fridge. We didn't get to eat that yet.
No.
But yeah, so that was what Mike was throwing there.
Yep.
And I was throwing the Rage Toe. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about this a little bit, just because I do get some questions from time to time on the Rage Toad. I'll talk about there. But if you guys look back in the videos, back when I was a man of a few words, right? A lot of my early fishing videos were with the Rage Toad. Probably to this day, still one of my favorite baits. And you guys know, if you've been around for a while, you'll know really a buzz bait is probably my favorite way to catch them, all right? And for me, you know, a Rage Toad, a Buzz Toad, and I'll show you guys some of my favorites as well, so stick around for that. And guys, hopefully the lighting is pretty good. One of the reasons we have sunglasses on, because the sun's like right in our eyes. Yeah. I do have the ring light behind you guys, trying to kind of balance things out. Hopefully you guys can see. But the Rage Toad is, like I said, one of my go-tos. Buzz bait is my favorite. Top water, just a quick way to cover water, you know, fast and be effective. But if you're in an area or at a pond or a lake that's got a lot of mats like we have currently, you can't really toss a buzz bait there because that blade's gonna get all caught up in the moss. So a good alternative to the buzz bait is a Buzz Toad, right? So you can go ahead and throw it over the mats, reel it over the mats, of course reel it through open water, and you can't do that with a buzz bait. So definitely a fun way to fish here. Rage Toad is probably one of my favorites, probably the one I've been using the longest. Before we get into the combo and all that, I'll show you guys some of my favorites. And we'll talk about, you know, fishing it and how I fish it and all that as well. But yeah, Rage Toad, definitely top of my list there. Let's see here. Tip Toads from Yum, that's a good one as well. You guys know your Yum, get over there to Lurenet, TJD1, 15% off. Lake Fork, what do they call these? Can't even read those anymore. Lake Fork, what do they call these? I guess the Fork Frog. That's a good one there. I've been throwing those for many years. I got super old videos on these as well. What else we got in here? Of course, the Horny Toads is a good one. We got the Ribbit Frogs is another good one there. I usually use these smaller ones for buzzbait trailers, but you can rig these at a standalone as well. We got some Buzz and Speed toads from Power Bait, the KVD, the Gurgle toad. You can see I use a lot of different ones. This is really a super fun technique. I know I got more. Let's see here. Now we got more hiding here. Yeah, this is a good one here. This is the Noisy Flapper from Kitech. That's a good one. We recently got these in too. These are the Paddle Frog Power Bait. Haven't used that one yet. Okay, like I said, Rage Toads, the go-to. But man, if you haven't tried out the, I guess you call it like the Buzz and Toad technique or whatever, you definitely gotta give it a shot. Like I said, a super fun way to fish, super easy to fish. Really, you fish it no differently than a buzz bait. Throw it out, reel it in. But some of the questions I get with the Rage Toad, one is some guys are having issues it rolling over, and that'll definitely happen. Okay, I do believe they recommend like a 4 or 5/0 hook to help balance it out. I like a 6/0. I like that hook as far as back as I can get it, so I run a bigger hook, which could cause it even to roll over even more. But with the better hookups, I prefer the bigger hook. This is an Owner twist lock. Let me take this off here. Okay, this is an Owner twist lock. Okay, that's a 6/0 Owner twist lock XXX strong hook. Okay, and we'll go ahead and rig one up for you guys as well. Okay, but if you're having issues with it rolling over, obviously the best thing you can do is rig it perfectly straight. Okay, and as you're fishing it, if it gets tore up, if the nose isn't hugging the screw keeper here, or if it's not on the hook straight because it's tore up, get a new one. That's the first tip. If it's wore out, get a new one. It's got to sit perfectly straight on the hook. Okay, some things I've done in the past, I've used a weighted hook. I've used like a swim bait hook with a 1/16 ounce weight on it. That helps keel it and keep it upright. I've also pinched like little clam shot weights on the bottom of the hook as well. Now, if you do have mats that you're running it over, it will grab that kind of stuff. But if you have open water, just pinching a little weight on there, again, keeps it keeled, keeps it running upright. But you'll notice, and one reason I like the brighter frogs, okay, I don't use black that often when I'm throwing a frog like this. I like to be able to see the contrast, or the different color, I guess you could say. Am I even saying that right, Mike? Yeah. He's not even paying attention. But I like chartreuse in the green pumpkin. I like green pumpkin in a white, just because when I throw it out, I can see that color. So if it flips over, I can see that chartreuse, and really all you have to do is kill it, and it'll start to sink, and it'll flip back over. So if it is running upside down, stop reeling, let it sink, it'll flip over, and you'll be good to go. But as long as you rig it straight for the most part, it won't roll over too much, okay? So that's pretty much the bait there. But like I said, super simple to fish, throw it out, reel it in, and kind of like I showed in the video, as far as being set up to set the hook, I really don't jack them with the frog. Really, same thing I do with the buzzbait. I just throw it out, keep my rod to the side, that way it's in position, and steady reel, and when they hit it, as long as you have the right type of rod, the rod's gonna load, and the fish is basically going to hook themselves. So you're using braid that has zero stretch, you're reeling it in, so you have the momentum of the bait coming to you, again, zero stretch of the rod, but you got a bit of a soft tip on there, which allows the fish to grab the bait, the rod loads, the fish is hooked. All you really need to do is kind of sweep away from them, and they're hooked. There's really no need to rip their lips off, right? So pretty straightforward, and hopefully I had a little clip of that I can put in there for you guys. But man, just a super fun way to fish. I'm going to show you guys the equipment, then we'll rig one up. Now, just like Michael, I'm using the Akuma TCS. I know it's backwards for you guys, but this is the jig worm rod, 7-foot, heavy power, mod fast action. Again, that softer tip is the key to hooking up in a lot of techniques, right? So like the softer action, and of course we got braid on there. I'm using 40 pound. This is Stealth Gray Seagar Smackdown. The Buzz Frogs, obviously they don't have as much weight as the Hollow Belly, so I dropped down just a little bit in pound test to get a further cast. 40 pound is more than enough. I'm sure you'd be just fine with 30 pound as well. Anywhere from 40 to 50, you're good. But like I said, I wanted a little more distance, so we went to the 40. And I'm using the Pro Qualifier. Mike, believe it or not, years ago, if you probably look back in the videos, I'm gonna try and find them, link them down below. Now this is the Pro Qualifier 2, but so many years ago, back when I first started shooting fishing videos, I was using the Pro Qualifier rod, like we said earlier, but I was also using the Pro Qualifier reel. And then it was a 50 pound, I think I was using, back then it might have been Bass Pro Braid. I don't remember, I think it was, but 50 pounds is what I was using then. But using a Pro Qualifier then, using a Pro Qualifier now. Don't let these store brand, reels fool you. I mean, plenty of strong to frog fish with, never had any issues with them, and you can see I'm still using them, no issues. So love the Pro Qualifiers. This one here is in I think it's a 6/8. That's one thing that's changed over the years. I do believe years ago the Pro Qualifiers, I want to say they were 6/4s. Now they're 6/8s. You can totally use a 7-speed. I like a low 7. Again, I don't want to use something too fast just because I don't want to lose that much power. The faster you go, like I usually say, the faster you go, the more power you lose. I don't mind a low 7. Not too big a fan of a higher 7. Usually when I have a faster reel, I end up fishing the bait too fast. But this being visual, if I am fishing it too fast, I can see that. But still, I just like the power of a slower reel, especially when you're in mats. Sometimes you can just lean back on them and crank them in with a slower reel just because you have a bit more power. But yeah, 6/8 is more than enough, or more than fast enough for me. And that's the combo there. Yep. So, what I say I got, I don't know, 5, 6. I think I didn't get a ton.
5, I think.
5. So we only had 8 fish. So not a stellar day, but not bad.
Yeah, we had stellar nacho.
The nacho was good. Mm-hmm. The cheese was hot. The soda was cold, and the Kit Kat was melted.
That was the first time that cheese machine has ever worked.
That is true. That is true. For as long as we can get nachos, half the time they got to go in there, cut the bag, squeeze our cheese. Squeeze our cheese out by hand. This time we both, or if it does work, it's only good enough for one of us. And the other one's got to sit there and pump it for like 20 minutes. Where this time, one push, hot cheese, running down. It was delicious. Yeah. But I told Mike, really wasn't, I don't think it was fair. We really shouldn't have got, because normally we split a nacho. The last time, if you guys remember, we each got a nacho because we had a pretty good day. And we got the Super King Kit Kat. Yeah. So we did that again. We got 2 nachos, Super King Kit Kat. And I don't really think we caught a 3-pounder. So we kind of, okay, I won't tell nobody. I won't tell nobody.
Think about it, above the moss, they were all 3-pounders.
Definitely caught a lot of moss. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and do a little rig job here, Mike. You just hold that. Make it easy.
Oh, thank you.
Show you guys how I rig it up. All right. And we'll close her out. And these are all tore up here. I had one more, Mike.
Right there.
Got one left. You can see though, I didn't catch many fish. Actually, I think there was one missing when I went over there. I think I only had 4 in here. Didn't catch many fish, only got 1 left. But again, that's the key to making the bait, or helping the bait run straight. If it's tore up, get a new one. Okay. All right. So it's got that little screw keeper on there, if you guys can see that. Poke that dead center in the nose, all right? And I might have some footage on the water that I can put in here as well if this is too dark for you guys. But straight in the nose, okay? Screw it on. And screw it all the way up to the eye, okay? Up to the eye. Now all you're going to do is run that hook on the belly there. Kind of use your thumb to gauge where it's going to go in. Make sure you go straight through though. I just poke it through. Poke it straight through. Okay? And on the other side, you're going to see second here. You're going to see a hook slot. It's not really much of a slot. Let's see here, let me take the hook out so you guys can see it again. You see that right there? Probably not. It's like a little indention. Obviously that's the center of the back side. So when you poke it through, make sure that you come dead center in that little slot, just like that, okay? So now it's nice and straight, and I'll leave it just like that on the back. So you can see there, the hook is exposed. Now if I'm in open water, that's how I run it. If I'm going to be throwing this over mats, sometimes it will land back down. So if I'm going to be landing on some mats, I will bury that tip, just like a Texas rig. So I'll go ahead and pull the bait forward a little bit and just bury that tip, okay? Bury the tip there, the way if it does land back down, right, it's not going to snag all that mat, okay? But just make sure that before you go to throw it, it's just nice and kind of level in line with the hook, and you are good to go. Like I said, don't try to rush it when you make your cast. Obviously get it up as quick as you can, but then pay attention to it. If you can see that chartreuse, let it sink, it'll flip over, start reeling, you're good to go. Other than that, just pop the tails there, and you are ready to catch some fish. Oh yeah. But guys, that should wrap it up. Now give us some feedback down below. Even though we don't have, or we don't always have stellar days, I do believe you guys do like these kinds of videos because you guys like gear talk. Yeah. You're tackle junkies. You like gear, you like tackle, you like fishing, and we like talking about gear, tackle, and fishing, and right? Nachos. And eat nachos and melted Kit Kats. Oh yeah. So hopefully, even though there wasn't a bunch of fish catches and a bunch of good fish, hopefully you guys still enjoyed this video. Yeah. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, maybe you just like making fun of Big Mike, you know. Whatever floats your boat, as long as you're still here, we appreciate you. If you are still here, give us a fist bump in the comments. Oh yeah. We truly appreciate everyone that watches the entire video. If you liked the video, smash the thumbs up. Love you guys. And we will see you guys on the next one. Hopefully you guys are staying cool, staying dry, catching some fish. That should be our new thing, right? Yeah. Because now it's hot, like the next 2 weeks, like all 97 degrees. Right. It's always raining. Yep. Right? And we're always fishing, so stay cool, stay dry, catch some fish. We love you. Bye.